All right, what is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. An idea came across my mind. So I'm going to be moving back to the Central Texas area here pretty quick. My daughter is doing 3 days from this video. And once, once she's here, all rod building is going to stop. But with me moving back to Central Texas, I don't have any panfish rods, don't have any really white bass rods. I got one ultralight that I like to use. I used it in a video, put the link right here. We caught some white bass on it. So what we did is I actually went ahead and I bought two 6-foot rod blanks. Now, this is also going to be a video about why I started building rods. The real reason I started building rods was not because store-bought rods weren't good enough. They just weren't perfect for what I wanted to do. So someone like me, very hands-on. I like to do a lot of things. I'm a hobbyist in the truest sense, right? I have all these hobbies. So with rod building, like I said, it wasn't a store-bought rods weren't good enough. They just weren't perfect for what I wanted to do. So that's why I, went to a website like Mudhole, picked a rod kit, and I built a jetty rod. I built my first jetty rod. I'll post some video links down below with that first jetty rod. We caught some kingfish. I still have that rod today. I've stripped it and done all sorts of things to it, and I still use it. It's still a great rod. But with this, I had the 5.6, and I caught a bunch of white bass on it. Super fun, but I was like, man, I really want something that's 6 foot. So I saw these little 6-foot ultralight blanks, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get two. They're on clearance. So we got two. So we're gonna be building two panfish ultralight rods. These things are rated, these blanks are 2 to 4 pounds. So this is gonna be light action fishing. Be great for like rainbow trout, but I'm gonna use them to target crappie and white bass in the creeks. I'm gonna be doing a lot of that whenever I do move back to Central Texas. But with that, and building your own rods, you have the liberty to do whatever you want to do with them, really. See a lot of crappie rods with like shorter grips and shorter handle layouts. And I was thinking about them, and I was like, you know what? That'd be a cool concept to do. I want to do it on these. I want to get as much as this 6-foot blank. I want to use as much as this 6-foot blank as I can. So I'll show y'all what we're going to do. It's going to be a full video, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a rod butt. This is going to put a lot of weight back here. What I like to say whenever I do this, kind of the reason I do this is whenever you're holding it, this rubber cap really likes to pull your rod tip up. And I like that. And these tips are super sensitive. So it's going to be really good to keep that tip high to really see those really slight subtle bites of crappie and white bass. Granted, white bass are going to slam it when it's full spawn, but crappie, a lot of times I'm fishing them for them when they're cold and in these creeks, and it's super subtle. So just that. This is the fun part. We're gonna do just a short little cork grip like this. Real seat. And then another section of cork. So that's gonna be our handle layout when we're done. It's literally the back 6 inches of this rod. So I'm gonna get a full 5 feet and 5 feet 4 inches of action out of the end of the rod. But that's it. Like I said, this is one of the beautiful things about building rods is you can build them however you want, whatever your preferences are. And I'll call this like a little pistol grip is what we're going to put on these rods. Like I said, I always recommend to all my buddies, I'm like, just build one. Build one rod, see how you like it. It may not be for you, but for me, it's perfect. It really starts this downward spiral of buying a lot of things. If I'm being honest, I have all my rods hanging up here, and I think I have like 3 that are from the store, and I have about 15 that are custom ones that I built, and that's all out of my pocket. But I love them. I wouldn't have it any other way. But enough yapping. Let's get to building this thing. We're going to do our grip first, and with cork, these are going to be our rear grips. With cork, you want to get a good tight fit. It's not like Eva foam where you're going to have compression, where you want some sort of like compression fit that you're going to really shove it down and force it down. Cork, you want to ream it to the perfect size to where it's going to be tight where you want it, and that's it. So with this cork, we're going to actually mark our rod butt here. Going to mark it right here, going around where the cork is. Pull it off. So that way we're going to ream out these cork grips to be perfect right there. And these might actually already be too big, which is fine, because with cork, we can do some tape arbors. This actually works out perfect because it's less reaming and less work for us. So you'll see the cork goes all the way to the end, but we don't want that, so we're going to add some tape arbor. Okay. Nice and tight. We're gonna leave a little space because we want glue to get in there. I'm gonna grab our smaller tape right here. I can actually mark this. All right, this arbor. Oh yeah, so that's gonna be plenty tight. Just to do a little mock-up, the cork. Boom, it's gonna look perfect. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix a big batch of epoxy, because I'm actually building 2 of these rods. I'm gonna have probably one to keep like a spinnerbait on, like the small kind of beetle spins on, and then one to keep a jig on. We're gonna use our Pro Paste, 1-to-1, or as close to it as you can get. If you're not perfect, it's just gonna kind of mess with the drying time. And it's cold in the garage. It's like 40 degrees outside, so it's a little bit warmer in here, but things are taking longer to dry right now anyways. So we're gonna do enough for 2 rods here. Okay, I think that's pretty good 1-to-1. We'll see. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and apply the epoxy on here. And for this, we have a really good fit already, so we're not gonna super over apply on this cork right here. And I actually bring it up some to drag some of that glue into places. Kind of evenly distributed a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Okay, got that cleaned up. So now we do some thin epoxy right here. Okay, I'm actually gonna grab me a toothpick here. Use this toothpick to kind of extract the excess out. I'm gonna spin it, make sure that glue gets all in there. Separate it. Every time I separate it, I can kind of see the membrane of the epoxy separate and come back together. So really, I'm just kind of getting that epoxy spread in there all throughout. We're actually gonna let that dry. We're not gonna jump ahead. We'll come back another night and do the reel seat and the foregrip. All right, so I lied. We're not gonna do it another night. I just realized how much epoxy I mixed up. So what I'm gonna show y'all is how we spine the blank. Now the spine is kind of like the natural curve of the rod, and for a casting set, for a casting rod, your guides are gonna be on top of the spine, kind of pushing the spine down. And for a spinning rod, your guides are gonna be on the underside of the spine, on the spine side, and it's gonna be pulling your rod down. So the way you find the spine, doing it a little bit differently. Usually I put them on the floor, but I'm gonna take this, get the rod butt secure right here, and you're gonna bend. And what you'll find is you'll be spinning it, and the rod is always gonna fight to be in a certain position or a certain angle. Let me show you right here. I'll lean y'all down. I'm gonna bend it, got it under flex, you'll see. So right here, there's like a valley in the spine, right? Right here, the rod is fighting me to get back to this point. So this would be the spine of the rod right here. So I'm gonna mark that. We're gonna cover it with cork, but that would be the spine of the rod. So why does that matter? So that matters for our reel seat, right? Because this is gonna be spinning rods. So we're gonna make sure that our reel seat, the side that we put, or the reel seat where we're gonna put our fishing reel in, we're gonna make sure that that is lined up perfectly with our spine. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our tape arbors, mark where the reel seat ends right here. So this is gonna be our whole reel seat. So we're gonna do our tape arbors right here for our reel seat. Keep it light, we're just gonna do 2 tape arbors because that's really all we need. This is a little ultralight rod. It's nothing fancy. So we're gonna do 1 tape arbor right here. What kind of fit we got here. Ooh, that's barely too small. It's a good guess. It's a good guess on my part. Oh yeah. So that's a nice and tight grip right there. That is our mocked up reel seat. Now we gotta take this off and do our front reel seat arbor because we don't have. All right, so there's our front arbor. It's already looking a little too big just on the camera, so we'll see. Oh no, it's perfect. Let's put on some glue here. So ultralight, there's not gonna be a lot of pressure on these reel seats here. Honestly, I mixed up way too much glue. It's gonna be really hollow in the reel seat here, which is fine. It's a 2 to 4 pound rod. So we're gonna be catching perch and white bass on this, and it's gonna keep it super light. We'll slide it on. Okay. Got all that excess hanging off. It's hanging off and easy to get. Ooh, catch it. Okay. We got our seat, butt, and rear grip. So now we're gonna put this 2-tone with rubberized cork on there. Now this one, I know the diameter is not thin enough. So as far down as this cork goes, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the reamer to clear this out to the right diameter. All right, we got our smallest reamer here. Always will kind of compare to see where we're gonna go with it. Perfect. Gonna get right down there. Thin layer of epoxy here, right on this little section. Damn it, I got some on the reel seat. It's all right. Thin layer, because this is gonna be a snug fit. Boom. And then you know what? We're gonna put a winding check on there. Start building enough rods, you just start collecting a whole bunch of stuff. Here we go, we got an even smaller winding check. Oh yeah, much tighter fit. That's what we want. That's what I like to do. I just like to get a toothpick with that epoxy all over it, and then rotate the rod and leave a small line of epoxy for the winding check to slide down onto. So we're gonna take this, slide it down, push it down, and then get another alcohol wipe. Here's our finished product. This really is just a mock-up because it's not set yet. But here's our crappie rod grip. So handle and reel seat are set on this one. So we're gonna let it dry overnight, and then in the morning or tonight or whenever I can get a chance to work on it, honestly, we're gonna put our hook keeper and our guides on it.